We have made it to the finals of your Marks Max Muscles Amateur Grand Prix. These two studs right here have battled their way to the finals. Jeff King versus Marco Savalyanin. And what a couple of studs they are indeed. Here in the front double bicep pose, and it is a little bit unfair for Mr. King. The camera is very low, making his biceps seem very small. I believe this is earlier on in his career anyway, and he's a few pounds lighter than his prime weight, I do believe. Marco Savalyanin, his biceps are so insane that it looks photoshopped, it looks fake. But man, those biceps are almost too big when you compare the size of his calves, are they not? I'm almost forced to give him a point, though. I mean, the biggest, best biceps I've ever seen in my life. It is worth to mention there is this here picture of Jeff King, and it is a straight-on picture, more comparable. And I'm here to tell you, this is a very good little battle here. Look at the calves on Jeff King. Very impressive, and that's a weak point for Marco. Judging by this one here, I would give it to King, probably. But we're going to be strict with this one. We're going to keep it competition if we can. So 1-0 for Marco. Mr. King is able to tie things up in this front lat spread. This is one of the most remarkable looking front lat spreads I've ever seen. It's so symmetrical and just perfect. It's just perfect. He's not so much as he's Dorian-esque or anything like that. It's just unreal. I just love it. Aesthetically, it's one of the best I've ever seen, if not the best. Now, Marco Savalyanin, there was several other front lat spreads. There was one that the camera's very low, and it makes it look so Dorian-esque. But it is unfair to use that one. I think it's safe to say Jeff King is definitely able to defeat Marco Savalyanin in this pose. So, good little battle right from the get-go. Tie game. Jeff King takes the lead here. I'm a little bit shocked in this one. Now, Marco Savalyanin, yes, he is a big man beast. He's just a monster. Look at the size of him. But Jeff King, he is an aesthetic monster creature. Wow, does he look fantastic. And this must be in his prime here. He's just hard as granite. And lucky for Marco Savalyanin, you can't see the rest of his legs. He has a little bit of a puny set of calves. And Jeff King, look at those big babies of calves. What a complete set of legs he has. Now, Marco, not as bad as, say, Paul Baker, but definitely a strong point for Jeff and a little bit of a weak point for him. So, Jeff King, 2-1. And what a fantastic little back and forth battle. Marco ties things up with this side tricep. Man, oh man. Not only did Marco have the world's biggest biceps, but he also had a complete set of arms. Look at those triceps and delts as well. Perhaps not the biggest forearms in the world, but man, oh man. 3 out of 4 is not bad at all. Definitely takes this one. Jeff King, not the best side tricep at all. I don't like the way he is snapping it. Either way, tie game. And as these two studs reveal their back developments, the advantage, in my opinion, goes to Marco Savalyanin. Now, King definitely has some genetic tools there that are perhaps better than Marco's. But my soul, Marco just looks so fantastic. He has the glute advantage, the hamstrings as well. He can't really see the calves, so he's kind of being saved in that aspect, in a way. Jeff King's lats are pretty wide there, nice. But when we look at the arms, it's all she wrote. It is a rear double bicep. After all, those guns of Marco, wow, just by the strength of them alone, he gets a victory in this. And here's where perhaps there will be some controversy. I was unable to find any pictures at all of Jeff King hitting this rear lat spread. And it is game day, and everything counts here. We have to be a little bit strict, a little bit mean, perhaps. But here we are, Marco Savalianen. Here he is with a pretty good lat spread, in my opinion. Not bad at all. So I am forced to award a point to one Marco Savalianen. It's really hard to say who's winning this ab and thigh shot. Gosh darn it, Jeff King, can you not just snap the shot properly? Judging by the conditioning alone, and even though he's leaning down, it looks like King's obliques and abs are sharper. And he more than likely has the trimmer waistline. But Marco is snapping this to a T. I don't like to use these, but there is this one of Jeff King. It is a photo shoot, and it is plain to see. Look at that big, thick thigh of his. He is winning this shot. I hate to do this, but there was one competition shot of Jeff, and it is game day, and he is ready, willing, and able to use that picture, and it is plain to see he does have a better ab and thigh. I'm going to go ahead and give him a point. We have made it to the final pose, this most muscular. Wow, two big beasts in their prime. Jeff King, not quite as large as Marco, but very aesthetic. Marco, look at those delts. He is a bus. Wide as a barn door, as the Tominator says. The legs of Jeff King, look how deep those cuts are. I don't know, though, he's a little undersized. Ooh, boom! Jeff King snaps another variation here. He's a little bit larger in his career here. Wow, does he ever look thick, thick, thick? And those delts, this time he is delting a good hand, or never mind, forget that I tried to do a card joke. Look at the thick thighs on Jeff. I'm going to go ahead and give him a point in this most muscular. And that creates a very interesting situation. These two are at a tie, and that makes for a very interesting situation because there is no more poses. And I'm sure this happens a lot to many judges in real-life competitions. You really have to weigh the variables. I mean, Jeff King is massive, sure, but Marco's a little bit larger, I believe. But here's the thing. Jeff King, I think he's a little bit more complete. Yes, he did lose a back shot, maybe even two. But it's not like he had a weak back. He has a very good back. Marco's back is just unreal. Now, Jeff is more complete. Like I said, he has the calves, and Marco, a very weak point there in the calves. So, weighing all those variables, I'm going to go ahead and give the victory to Jeff King. And he is the winner of your Marks Max Muscles Amateur Grand Prix. He is, of course, the greatest bodybuilder never once to have competed in the Mr. Olympia event, in my opinion. There is several other bodybuilders, good ones too, that can also claim to be just as good as Jeff King and never ever did compete in the Olympia event. So we're either going to do another whole tournament or just do some one-on-one matches. And one name that does come to mind is Gunnar Rosbo. But let's not ruin Jeff King's celebration. He is the champion of the night. And your Marks Max Muscles Amateur Grand Prix champion. And deservedly so. What an aesthetic creature he was. So full and round, full muscle bellies, plus a little tiny wee waist, very hard to beat. So complete was Jeff King. Good back, good calves, excellent set of legs. World class all the way. Ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't already, please go ahead and snap that subscribe button. It helps me a great deal. Reach my goal of 1,000 subscribers, and then of course beyond. I really hope you enjoyed this tournament, and in particular, this tournament final. And look forward to the next feature. Perhaps a tournament featuring NABBA Pro champions from the 80s. Ooh, how's that sound? Have a great day.